What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Claroos.
And this is another episode of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Episode 3, to be specific. This one is the sequel to the episode where we find out that the Führer likes to give people silly little names.
So, I had forgotten this, and someone in the comments reminded me.
About him naming people?
No, his name is actually King Bradley. Like, his first name is King. So, his title is not Führer King. His name is King.
Why? That's so fucking stupid.
You know, I'm not sure, actually.
Does he think he's LeBron James? Like, what the fuck is this?
What?
LeBron James' Twitter handle is @KingJames.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Hey, no. Here's the thing. If you are the best basketball player for 20 straight years, and at 38 you are still better than all of the 22-year-olds in the league who have much younger knees than you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Sure. I'd rather him be king than... Anyways, we're not getting into that.
Speaking of kings...
Let's watch this.
There was a coronation this weekend.
What?
Way to waste money while the British people are suffering.
Yeah, you know...
The monarchy in the UK, it's a great thing, right? As I drink from my Union Jack Star Wars mug.
Wow. That's on you.
If you want the full sorry, none of this is about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but it's about to be. If you want the full length action, go to patreon.com/nerdynightly. If you don't, stay here because you're already here. And if you left because you are a monarchist and you think that our anti-monarchy stance is abhorrent, bye.
Emissary of the Sun God, Hey! Easy, I didn't mean nothing by it.
Watch and learn, Gramps.
Okay, here it goes.
Oh, alchemy's like kind of rare in this world.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most people cannot.
Okay. What the fuck is that?
I don't know. He's like the wacky inflatable arm.
Wacky waving inflatable arm too.
In case you forgot that Ed is
In
short.
case you thought this was going to be a serious show because of episode 2, we're back to episode 1 shenanigans.
Yeah, there's just one way. Bingo.
The Philosopher's Stone.
They find it in episode 3?
There's more than
That's
one in
fucking
this
fast.
world. It's not one. There's multiple.
Okay.
If you believed, I'm sure Lita would bless you and make you grow taller.
What's that supposed to mean?
Easy, brother. She's just...
People in this world are so mean.
I love that everyone just assumes that he has a issue with his height. Like the assumption of everybody is like, you're upset about the fact that you're a short fuck, aren't you?
Saltpeter, 100 grams, and various other trace elements.
This episode is very goofy already.
Yeah.
Did I mention all those ingredients I read off? Down at the market, a kid could buy every one of them for the spare change in his pocket.
Yeah, but you shouldn't sell some of those things to children because they're dangerous. I just want to be clear, but lime is a hazard.
Don't worry about it.
Alchemists are scientists. We don't believe in unprovable concepts like creators or gods.
You fused your brother's soul to a suit of armor.
In this world, that is science.
Myth about a hero who flew on wings made of wax.
Love the pan up of his body while he's talking.
Edward Elric, the Full Metal Alchemist, has come to call on us.
That's him? The man in the armor?
Dressing the part, it would seem.
Because he's animated with his eyes permanently shut, he doesn't his face didn't make any different change when he's like, wait, the Elric brothers?
Yeah.
So it just was like, no, I'm good. Wait, the Elric brothers? Okay, let's do it. He has a permanently furrowed brow.
Yep. It's hard, creating a religion.
Jesus Christ.
Come to ensnare and discredit the Father. They're evil. This is God's will.
Brother Cray.
This is God's will.
You really gonna shoot a suit of armor with a gun? Oh, people don't know there's nobody inside of it, right?
Yes. They think he's wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
It would seem they've been misguided.
Okay, let's say I believe you weren't the one guiding them. What next? Then I started thinking about it. If you'd somehow managed to acquire a certain object...
So dramatic.
If that's the way you want to play it, I guess I'll have to come up there and beat some truth out of you.
My, you really are quite the incorrigible heathen, aren't you?
Wow, being a state alchemist apparently allows you to just beat up men of the cloth. Just attack people?
Okay.
Now, child, I want you to shoot the Full Metal Alchemist.
Damn it, I'm the Full Metal Alchemist! It's not him! It's me!
It's the short one! You're kidding!
I'm sorry, but I have to do this.
This is so serious, but it's so funny.
I know. I know.
It's so strange.
This show is both of those things.
Shoot.
Now pick up the gun and shoot the other as well.
Haven't you made her do enough already? No harm done.
This poor woman is gonna be so traumatized.
She's having a bad day.
Evil of this kind must be purged!
So this is the sort of thing you do with the Philosopher's Stone. That's
They're so chill. He's just hands in buckets. Oh my god. Why does he have a chimera in the basement?
You like that, kitty? Go on.
Oh my god, his sister's gonna be pissed.
That's not his sister.
Oh, okay. His
No.
girlfriend's gonna be pissed.
Full
That's
Metal
so sad.
Alchemist.
Yeah.
The duality of the show is wild.
Right?
In their arrogance, they tried to bring someone dead back to life.
She's gonna shoot him with that gun. When she finds out.
Me and God, we don't get along too well. Even if I went, he'd probably just send me right back here.
I don't know, I feel like he and God had a good conversation when they were kids.
Well, don't just stand there after them! These heathens seek to harm the Order! They must be stopped!
Can you imagine if the Pope just walked through the wall with a fucking Tommy?
Uh-huh.
I'm slowly building an army, a legion of holy warriors unafraid to die. In a few more years, I'll be ready to unleash this mindless horde upon the world.
You really are a novice, aren't you?
You don't mean that!
Why give him the comedy spine sound effect?
No, I won't be disgraced like this!
Oh my god.
My word is the divine word of God himself. My fist is the almighty fist of judgment!
It's so goofy.
Yeah.
Ah, nice move.
Risked our lives for this one possible chance. And it's a fake? I don't care what you do, just get out of here!
Okay, I guess I was wrong. I
His
guess
arm is just permanently like that now? Oof.
I guess there's fake ones. That's why I remember like multiple.
But the fake ones work?
Well, it worked for a bit until it was overpowered, right? Because he was just doing little paltry tricks with it at first.
Yep.
But he promised me. He said if I prayed it would
The
happen.
store here is incredible.
And
This is awesome.
That's all I had left. What am I supposed to believe in now?
told you she's having a real bad day.
Yeah.
Bring him out here! Receiving those lies! Show yourself!
Kill the beast!
Yeah.
I knew we should have just incited a little
Here's
rebellion.
Laura Bailey. The reason we're watching this show.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Now you two, everyone is mocking me! I won't stand for...
Just as things were beginning to look promising, too. Now I suppose we'll have to start over from scratch. Father won't be pleased. Not our next move.
I did not like that.
That's fair. It's not pleasant.
All right. I did not anticipate that Fullmetal Alchemist was going to be so anti-religion.
Well, yeah, it's a show based inherently on science.
Yeah, but that was really like, hey, priests are grifters.
Well, yes.
Which is in a lot of cases true.
Yeah, like I'm not they're not wrong.
I'm not talking about like your kindly like local pastor, okay?
Yeah.
Who's like doing good by the community, probably cheating on his wife, but I'm mostly just statistically it's likely. But I'm mostly talking about like the mega church people who are like, I need this 5.5 million private jet because how am I supposed to spread the word of God if I can't fly to Turks and Caicos for a vacation whenever I want?
It's
Fuck
like
those people.
Like in like
what's his name, Joel Osteen?
In olden days, right? The more gold you wore just meant that you were more devoted to God, and it's like no, you're just rich fucks. Like
the Catholic Church, the seat of the Catholic Church being basically a golden city is one of the like funniest hypocrisies in all of human history. Yeah. It's sad and depressing, and like the amount of pain that caused the Vatican to be built, and the number of communities that were used very destroyingly, is that a word, to do that. Awful. But it is so funny to me that people are like, oh yeah, the moral authority of our species is the man in the ruby slippers in the golden castle who wants to tell everyone else how to live their life piously.
Yes.
Yeah. I just didn't expect this show to get into that, and I thought that this was a really interesting way to handle that theme.
It does set up like a very strong opinion here, but the show also does have to deal with what the concept of a soul is. The concept of a soul is not tied up in like, it doesn't have to be tied to religion, right? Like there are many spiritualities throughout human history that are community-based souls or ancestral souls, and there's a lot of versions of the soul that aren't the like Judeo-Christian kind of church and steeple kind of soul concept that this episode was very clearly satirizing, right? Yep, for sure.
And so I think that there's a lot of ways to look at the soul without having to look at it through a Christian lens. But this episode was very clearly pointing at a certain kind of pastoral grift that is very common in the real world.
Yeah, 100%.
And I thought it did it very well. I thought that this was an interesting way to handle like, what does a person who is using the word of God to take advantage of people look like?
Yep.
And I thought that this was a very real version of that I that's tied up in a show that's so strange to me. Like I really enjoy watching it because there are some really smart themes going on. I think that if it was a little bit more serious, I would love this show.
But you don't like the wacky inflatable arm?
Well, it's just that like even in its most serious scenes, it like cuts to a joke.
Yeah.
And like a joke that is very slapsticky, but also I think makes the show more palatable for younger viewers.
I was going to say, I believe that is to make it slightly more all ages, because the themes that it does deal with are very dark and adult.
But then when it cuts to like the mom's body on the transmutation circle, like I don't think that's very youth friendly, and so I just think this show, but animation kids
gets
can't
away with
tell
a
the
lot.
difference. I know, but people say that as if kids can tell the difference, and they can't, right? And that's what's interesting about the show to me, is that it rides this weird line where like I think the writing's really solid. I think for the most part the voice acting is really solid. But there's like a tonal thing about the show that I find very strange, and it's not making me. I'm not enjoying the show, but sometimes I wish that it would let itself be a little bit more adult. Just if you're gonna have the scene where the pastor is trying to make Rose shoot the Fullmetal Alchemist, and it ends with a punchline. It's just very weird because it's this like traumatizing moment for this girl that I thought was actually written so well. Yeah. Like the conversation up until the Napoleonic joke. And I don't know, they're leaning into that joke a lot.
That won't stop.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah, but it was kind of like the 5th time in this episode that they'd done that exact joke.
Yeah.
And also it was at the end of a scene that I was like, oh, I got like emotionally invested in Rose. I thought she was a great character, and I thought like her relationship to the pastor was really interesting from a thematic level, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on from that, I don't understand how the Philosopher's Stones can be fake and function at the same time. Either they have Philosopher's Stone powers or they don't, right?
We'll get into that.
So they are, but they have to be real Philosopher's Stones that are just like lesser Philosopher's Stones, but they can't be fake. Because a fake stone wouldn't be able to break the laws of physics. Like they have to at least be partially real.
Yeah, it's like a lesser.
Okay. Because he keeps saying fake, and I'm like, well, no. It had the abilities of a Philosopher's Stone, but the Philosopher's Stone doesn't have to last forever, right? Like that.
I mean, it's still like partially fake.
But all Philosopher's Stones should have an end point.
Well, no, I mean, the idea of the Philosopher's Stone, like, even in our world, is eternal and undying.
Okay, but the problem with that, in a world where there's multiple of them, because, like, the idea is that, like, there's one, right? It's the Philosopher's Stone, right? If there's multiple of them and they last forever, then they should be known.
So I believe there's only one true Philosopher's Stone. I believe. There's only one.
Oh, okay. Because if
I feel like I misled you, and I'm sorry because I forgot that they were like fake, but I believe there is only one true Philosopher's Stone.
I'm a fan, and we talked about this with Attack on Titan. I'm a fan of stories that set limitations on magic so that they can't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's one of the problems I have with that show is that it just kind of seems like every time we find out about new powers, the limitations on those powers don't seem to exist.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't mind the Philosopher's Stone not lasting forever because if you use all of it, it can do incredible things, but it has limitation. Is more interesting to me than it can do anything and it lasts forever. And once you have it, you're God, right?
You'll find out.
Yeah. So I'm interested to get into that.
Yeah.
But it was very weird that he was like, oh, it's a Philosopher's Stone because it works, but it's not, but it's a fake one because I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Are we doubling up on episodes?
No, let's keep to one per. I think we'll do 2 a week, but we'll do them in separate videos.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Sure. I like being able to, here's the thing. When we double up, the second episode we talk about the second episode and we always forget about the first one. And I want to be able to like sit and talk about these episode by episode because I think that like this was a one-off. This doesn't lead into the next episode. If it is a genuine 2-parter, I'm down to do the double up.
Right.
But sometimes when they're disconnected, we always forget about one episode to do the next.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we're gonna keep with one, but we'll probably do 2 a week.
Okay.
I like the show. I also have like some weird feelings about the like very strange because the like underlying stuff is so serious and really interesting. Like the character stuff in the show is really good. Mm-hmm. The comedy beats feel weirder because if they want to be like, look at this desecrated corpse of their mom that they made when they were children, and also like look at this joke about they're like killing the people in the hallway, and then it cuts to them being like la da la da fiddly dee dee da 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 da.
They didn't kill anyone.
I'm okay. Edward made a fucking like monstrosity knife arm, and then it cut to a hallway, and we heard the screams of people.
Well, but it was like a shield, and then we saw them.
It
afterwards.
was not a shield. It was a giant serrated blade.
Yeah, but it's like a flat end. Like they do this, and they show the people afterwards, where they're like, oh, like you know, like knocked over or whatever, but like nobody's like dead and bleeding.
Okay, then he needs to make a blunt weapon because he made a sharp, serrated monstrosity that would cleave flesh from bone.
It would, yeah.
Those people are not okay.
They're definitely not okay, but they're alive.
More okay than Rose. Rose is emotionally like fuck.
Yeah, poor Rose.
I feel like they should have investigated that pastor better.
Like Ed?
Yeah.
And that's not his job.
Who gave you the stone? Yes, it literally is.
Oh, you mean to find the stone?
What do you mean it's not his job? He is a state alchemist. It is quite literally his job to be. Where did you get that? Because they should know that lust and gluttony are doing some shit. For a father, who I'm assuming is King Bradley. So
he does say like, I don't know where I got it. Like, he doesn't seem to know that it's like a fake one. Like, he's like, I don't know anything. Like, whether or not you believe that and take that at face value, the show kind of just moves on from it.
But he had to get it from somewhere. And as the state alchemist investigating him,
I found it on the ground.
Literally Ed's job to do that.
That would be important. But he's also
a
child.
He just leaves. which is why he shouldn't be allowed to go and beat people up randomly. Like, he is a state-sanctioned, like, bully because he's a kid who clearly doesn't have enough training in interrogation and, like, communication.
Oh, no.
Like, he has too many weak points that he can be emotionally manipulated by fucking anybody who just calls him short. He is not the right person for this job, and yet he's allowed to go into a town and destroy that town. This town is fucked for a good reason.
Yeah. I can't remember how old he is, actually.
It's like 15.
Maybe someone in the comments will let us know. But yeah,
he is a
like
state sanctioned.
Yeah.
Like, it's so, this show is so weird. He's a state-sanctioned child with magical powers who's investigating so poorly and just fighting people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right.
So here's the thing. There's 7 sins, right?
Uh-huh.
Which one is Bradley? Because he's father. Because he's daddy. I get what they're doing with that.
He's daddy.
So there's lust and gluttony, who we've seen.
Yeah.
He's not going to be sloth, right? What are the other ones? Lust, gluttony, sloth, envy?
Yep. Envy is one.
He's not envy.
Greed
Wrath,
is another one.
Greed.
Wrath and...
Greed. He could be greed or wrath. What's the other one? What's the 7th sin?
I was going to Google it and then I ended up getting a phone call.
Lust, gluttony, sloth, envy, greed, wrath.
7 sins, envy, pride.
Pride. He could be pride. So he's either pride, wrath, or greed. Actually, no, I don't think he's greed. Because if you're going to make him greedy, he would be rich. And he doesn't seem rich. He seems more like power hungry rather than like money hungry. Okay. So I'm going to say wrath makes sense. But what was the other one?
Pride, wrath, greed.
He's either pride or wrath. He's definitely one of them.
Okay.
His name is Führer King Bradley. Like, he's fucking evil. This show is not subtle. And I don't think this show is not subtle enough for that to not be the case.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, no, I know you're not, but I figured it out. I have a 50-50. Okay, I need to make a hard guess now.
All right. Between
wrath and pride?
Okay.
I don't want to be wrong is the problem.
You got to lock it in.
I know. I'm going to say wrath.
Wrath.
Yeah, because I think that's the most interesting one. I think that the most obvious one is pride, because he wants to be king. That's a prideful thing. But
his name is King.
Yeah. And like that leads me to think it's pride. But for like a combat standpoint, for him to be like the like final boss, I think wrath is a more interesting final fight. And so I think that the show is built for that.
Oh, final fight. Okay. So you would think
I think the show is ultimately about Ed toppling the government, right? So They named him Führer. He's going to be the bad guy.
Yeah, I guess it depends on like what like sin, like if you think he is the end goal big bad, then you think that the sin that he is like the worst. Do you think that that's like the worst sin?
No, I think it's the most interesting sin to fight.
Gotcha. It's more interesting to fight wrath than pride?
Yeah, because pride you beat emotionally and wrath you beat physically.
Oh, and you think that the anime's gonna go for the big gun punchy?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
I think this all ends with a big punchy against wrath. I don't think you punchy pride. I think that you beat pride by beating his pride.
Right.
Right? But you can't like emotionally devastate wrath. He wants a fight. And so I think that if Bradley is the final fight, which I think he is, because he's set up you set him up in the first episode by having him have this action moment that is like so like incredibly overpowered.
Right.
He is dead, right? Yeah. You set him up as
it goes black
incredibly
and white.
powerful.
Yeah.
He's going to be the final fight, I think, of the show. I might be wrong. I'm literally just speculating based on 3 episodes of television. And I think that if he's pride, then Ed has to beat him by overcoming his Napoleonic view of himself. And taking pride in the body that he has and in the missing arm and in the missing leg. And that's how you beat pride.
Okay,
is by accepting who you are and getting over your like... And I think that obviously the show has to do that at some point, right? That's the character arc of Ed is he will never fix himself. He will come to terms with himself and accept himself fully. And that is beating pride. But beating wrath is a fight. You can't like emotionally be like, don't be angry anymore.
Right, gotcha.
He's like, no, let's go to toe. And so I think he'll be wrath for that reason.
Cool. Okay. So you think he's not going to end up getting his body back?
No, because then what? Because then what's the point?
I'm just curious.
I think maybe that is what happens. I think that is the less interesting version of it.
All right.
Because I think that is just, well, we found the magic. MacGuffins that work are generally not the best because it allows your characters to not progress.
Right.
A MacGuffin, if say they get a Philosopher's Stone and they fix themselves.
Yeah.
They don't have to go on an emotional journey because the object that is just an object that has super magic powers just fixes their problems.
Gotcha.
As opposed to, I think Alphonse might get his body back or get some kind of body. I can understand why you would end with that character, but I think that if both of them just are fixed at the end of the show, then the emotional journey of them having to come to terms with. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a choice. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the show we find out that the Philosopher's Stone isn't unlimited, and Ed has to choose either between saving Al or he saves Al and then he gets one more thing and he can either see his mom one last time, not bring her back, but like see her one last time or get his arm and leg back, and he chooses to have a moment with his mother. Because I would give a body part to spend one last moment with my grandmother. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like I would throw away a hand to spend one last moment with my mama, right? Yeah. And so I have a feeling there's something like that at the end of the show. Gotcha. Where like he could, but it means losing out on this other thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's what's interesting to character, right? MacGuffins that just work as soon as you have them is like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
The best thing about the Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone is that it's never used.
Yeah.
It is an implement to get characters to have revelations about themselves.
Yeah, and then
it never actually does anything, right? And that those are my favorite kind of MacGuffins when they say something about our characters and have our characters reveal something to the audience about themselves.
Yeah. But
don't actually just solve their problems.
Yeah. It's not literally like a snap your fingers and you win. Yep. Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
That's fun. I like it.
Yeah. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is who?
Rose.
Oh, fuck, Rose. I'm so sorry, girl.
She's starved for emotional connection because she lost her fiancé and then was manipulated for a year or so.
By the church.
Yeah. Throw some love in chat for Rose.
If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
And as always, y'all, do something nerdy tonight.
Bye, guys.
Bye.